Hello, welcome back. This is 3-1, part 2 of the chain rule, and in this video we're going to specifically look at how we use the chain rule when differentiating with tabular and graphical question stems. Alright, so diving right in, we're given a table of values and we're asked to go ahead and differentiate, and they say let h of x equal f of 3x squared. Find h prime of -1. So the first task becomes in identifying what is h prime. I need to know what h prime of x is. Well, if you go ahead and you identify, hey, I have a function inside of another function, you're going to have to use the chain rule. Now, in the last video, we said, hey, you can identify this as u, and the derivative of u is u prime. So I have 6x. And I can go ahead and I can say, okay, then h prime of x is going to be equal to the derivative of the outside, right? So this would be f prime of 3x squared times the derivative of the inside, which is just 6x. So there is our derivative, okay? And now I want to go ahead and I want to find what's h prime of -1. So h prime of -1, I'm going to plug this in. We get f prime of 3 times -1 squared, that's just going to be 3, times 6 times -1, which is -6. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and I am going to evaluate f prime of 3 using my table. So here's 3, and then f prime of 3 would be 7. So this is 7 times -6, which gives us -42. Okay, and there is our answer. Example 12. Let k of x equal f of g of x. Find k prime of 2. Okay, so again, if you like the whole rewrite, u is equal to here to g of x. That's your inside function. The derivative of u obviously is g prime of x. And then if we're going to rewrite this, right, k of x is equal to f of u. So you can use the chain rule in that way. Another way, I just like to think, hey, the derivative of a function that has the chain rule, derivative of the outside, that's f prime, times the derivative of the inside, which is g prime. Okay, and so there is your chain rule, and now we just want k prime of 2. Okay, so k prime of 2, this is going to be equal to f prime of g of 2 times g prime of 2. And we're going to make these substitutions. So f prime of g of 2, so I'm going to go in my table to 2. Looks like g is -3. Okay, g prime at 2 is -5, so this would be -5. And then now, based upon my substitution, we need f prime of -3. Okay, so here's -3, and f prime of -3 is 4. So this would be 4 times -5, which is -20. Okay. Example 13. Let p of x equal g of f of x. Find p prime of 2. I'd like you to go ahead, pause video. I want you to try this example. Give this one a go on your own. All right. Hopefully you went ahead and did this one. Just for clarity, if you're using the u substitution, u is equal to f of x, and the derivative of that would be f prime. So the derivative of the outside, I have one function contained in another. So the derivative of the outside is g prime. Notice how the inside does not change, did not change at all. Okay, times the derivative of the inside, that would be f prime of x. And now I want p prime of 2. So g prime of f of 2 times f prime of 2. Okay. And then looking at our table of values, it looks like f of 2 would be -1. So g prime of -1 times f prime of 2 is -5. Okay. And then I need g prime of -1, which gives us 3, looking at our table, 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. Negative 15. Actually, I have a error. This would be f prime of 2. That is 6. That should be 6. So 3 times 6 would give us 18. You're like, hey, I didn't get that. I was testing you guys. Good. Okay. There we go. All right. Example 14. Okay, so n of x is equal to g of, and I have a function embedded in that. So clearly here is our u. U is equal to 2x minus x squared. And the derivative of this is going to be 2 minus 2x. So if I want to find n prime of 2, I need n prime of x first. Make sure you list n prime of x. Use these baby steps. So, and even not even baby steps. On the AP test, you get points for listing the derivative first. So n prime of x, okay, derivative of the outside, so g prime of whatever is inside already. Okay, now times that derivative of that inside, which is 2 minus 2x. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and evaluate. So this becomes g prime of, and I'm going to plug in 2. So 2 times 2, which is 4, minus 2 squared, that's 4. Okay, so that's going to be g prime of 0, times 2 minus 2 times 2 again. Okay, and this gives us negative 2. 2 minus 4 gives us negative 2. Okay, so g prime of 0 I have as negative 6. Let me just confirm. So we have g prime of 0, yep, negative 6. So negative 6 times negative 2, which gives us 12. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the chain rule with graphical responses. So this idea, again, is going to be extremely similar. We're just going to get our information rather than from a table, but from a graph. So here they say the graphs of f of x and g of x are above and consist of 3 line segments. Use the graphs to find the following. All right, example 15. Let h of x equal g of f of x. Find h prime of 4. Okay, so if I want to find h prime of 4, I need h prime of x, and that's going to be the derivative of the outside. I have one function composed in another, so the derivative of the outside, g prime of f of x times f prime of x. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and now just plug in 4, h prime of 4. So this is g prime of f of 4 times f prime of 4. Okay, so let me go to the graph. Let me look at f. I'm going to find f prime of 4 as well as f of 4. It looks like f prime of 4 is negative 1. The slope of this is negative 1. And the function value is 0. So it looks like our answer, so g prime of 0 times negative 1. Okay, and then g prime of 0, now I'm going to go to this graph, and I'm going to find what the derivative is at 0. And that looks like negative 1/2. Dropping 1, running 2 for that line segment, negative 1/2. Okay, so that's going to give us a positive 1/2 as our slope. There you go. Same exact idea, except instead of table values, we're getting it from a graph. Example 16. Let k of x equal f of g of x. Find k prime of 2. Okay, so again, here's my outside, right? There's f, and then g is my inside. So the derivative of the outside, so k prime of x is equal to f prime of g of x. That inside part stays the same. Okay, times the derivative of the inside, which is g prime of x. Okay, so k prime of 2 This is f prime of g of 2 times g prime of 2. So I'm going to look at my g function to find the values of g prime and g of 2. It looks like g of 2 is -1 and g prime is -2, dropping 2, running 1. So -1 and -2. Okay, so now I need f prime of -1 and f prime of -1 is 0. The slope is 0. So, okay, that's going to be 0 times -2, which is 0. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, so that's a function with another function. Now let's go ahead and mix in some functions with actual special functions that we're familiar with here. Okay. So let p of x equal g of the natural log of x, find p prime of 1. Okay, so I need p prime of x, well, the derivative of the outside, that's g prime of the natural log of x, times the derivative of the inside. And then derivative of the inside, natural log, is 1 over x. Okay, so then p prime of 1, I'm just going to go ahead and substitute in 1. So g prime of the natural log of 1, which you should know that that is 0, g prime of 0, times 1 divided by 1. I just substituted in 1 for x, and that's just 1. 1, okay. And then g prime of 0, again, I'm going to go to my table of values, and the derivative at 0 was -1/2. So we have -1/2 times 1, which is just -1/2. Pretty straightforward. 18. Let L of x equal e to the power of f of x. Find L prime of 3. Okay, so remember, for whenever you have e raised to any function, your function is going to be the u. So here our u is f of x, and the u prime will be f prime of x. So L prime is going to be e to the power of f of x times f prime of x. Okay, so I'll go ahead, I'll throw in 3 here. We have e to the power of f of 3 times f prime of 3, and it looks like I need to go to the graph and investigate what's going on at 3. Here's 3. So our function value is 1, and our slope is -1. Okay, function value is 1, e to the first, and the slope is -1. So this just equals -e. There's our answer. Okay. 19. All right, 19, I'm going to go ahead and do this one, and then I'll have you do example 20 as a practice, which they are similar. They say let b of x equal sine of g of x. Find b prime of 2. Okay, so b prime of x. Again, my inside function, my u is going to be whatever is on the inside. So I'm going to take the derivative of the outside first. So that's going to be cosine times g of x times now the derivative of the inside, which is g prime of x. Okay, so this gives us cosine b prime of 2. So cosine of g of 2 times g prime of 2. So we'll look at our graph, and at 2, what do you know? That's not differentiable, undefined. For the slope. The function value is 2, so that would be cosine of 2 times an undefined value, which is undefined. Cannot be defined. Okay. All right, example 20. Let q of x equal f of cosine of x. Okay. So again, actually I said I was going to have you guys do this one. So go ahead, pause me, you try this one, and I'll show you the answer here in a second. All right, here we go. In order to find q prime of 0, you have to find q prime of x first. The derivative of the outside is f prime of cosine of x times the derivative of the inside, which was negative sine of x. And then q prime of 0, if we plug this in, we get f prime of cosine of 0 times negative sine of 0. Well, sine of 0 is 0. So times the negative just becomes 0. And then cosine of 0 is 1, so f prime of 1. Well, at f prime of 1, that's undefined. So our answer is undefined. Undefined. Did you get it? Good job. All right, a couple of more. Example number 21, and then I'll have you do the last one here. They give us r of x is equal to the natural log of g of x. I have one function composed in another, and I want to find r prime of negative 1. So I'm going to go ahead and find r prime of x. First, derivative of the outside. Well, the derivative of the natural log of x is 1 over x. So in this case, with having a value that's u, right, it's 1 over u times now the derivative of the inside, which is g prime of x. Okay, so r prime of negative 1, that's g prime of negative 1 being divided by g of negative 1. And if I go ahead and plug this in, let's see what's going on at negative 1. We got 0 and negative 1. So the slope is 0. The value is negative 1. 0 divided by negative 1 is 0. So there is our value. All right, number 22. This is going to be a you-do. So go ahead, try this example, and I'll show you the responses here in a moment. All right, hopefully you went ahead and did this one. This one was fun. We had the derivative of d of x, which is g prime of e to the x times the derivative of e to the x, which is just e to the x. So we go ahead and plug in 1, and we get g prime of e times e. And I have to find out the derivative of g at e. So we go up to our graph, and remember e is approximately 2.718. So we're here, and at this location the slope happens to be negative 2. So we have negative 2 times e, which ends up being our solution. Okay? All right. In this video, you should have learned the chain rule and how when you have one function composed in another function, you're going to take the derivative of the outside first, leave the inside unchanged, and then you're going to multiply times the derivative of the inside. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe for more awesome math videos. Catch you in the next video.